So, today I'm gonna tell you about one of my favorite role-playing tales. This is my first YouTube thing, and I know this community is relatively filled with stories and content as it is, but I'm unique? I don't know, I just really want to do this. Anyways, I'm gonna tell you about the time one of our players swept control right out from under the GM's feet and instigated an event that has become legendary within our circle. This is the tale of the Great Cat Flood of Kraggoden. Right, so there's a lot of setup for this story, so bear with me. In the Pathfinder setting of Golarion, specifically the country of Nermathus, there was this evil bard wishing to assert control of the country, causing trouble all over with her nightmare horse by her side. As a side effect of this plan, she inflicted a curse upon our party, except for my character who entered the campaign halfway through, and the only way to uncurse them was to find the bard in Kraggoden, and force her to release us before the timer runs out and they all die. However, along the way, they encountered a beat-up old man who informed them that an unrelated city, Skelt, was being attacked by an orcish horde. Now, while this was obviously placed by the GM to force the players to make a choice between being the good guys or pursuing our selfish needs, since the two cities were so far away, what they chose instead was to split the party and tackle both. The first of many times this GM tried to give us variety in our choices, only for us to instead try both things and make him do more work. So yeah, the heroic Dia, Felix, and Katrina decided to save Skelt, while the significantly less heroic Orpik, Ninja, and Co decided to deal with their own cursed business in Kraggoden. Today's story takes place with the Kraggoden team. Now, how the GM decided to tackle two stories at once was to make a session entirely about Skelt, and then one about Kraggoden, and keep switching between the two until each story was resolved and the party can reunite. To solve the problem of player participation for those in the opposite group of the one we were playing that night, we all made temporary side characters that would join the main characters until the end of the mini-arc. On the Kraggoden team, we had Flagon, a dwarven bartender, Emil, a kobold investigator, and most important for our tale, Sorrel, the catfolk bard. Now, early on it was humorously established that Sorrel constantly put cats in establishments that didn't allow them, most notably Flagon's bar. It quickly became a running joke in the arc, as cats started to even show up in places where Sorrel wasn't. You know, standard stuff, making jokey jokes in the middle of your serious campaign. We all do that. But then the GM, wanting to contribute to the hilariousness the players were concocting, half-jokingly declared the city of Kraggoden to have a cat infestation. That's when things started to spiral out of control for him. The number of cats grew larger and larger, to the point where minor armies of cats were around each street corner. Flagon's bar became inoperable due to the sheer amount of cats Sorrel sneaked into it. At one point, to compensate for Flagon's setback in the most chaotic way possible, Cole led a minor army of cats into the rival bar across the street, trashing it. What's more, because it was Sorrel's player that established and played the cats, the GM didn't really have control over them, so they were a constant that he couldn't just wipe away. Then the cats themselves got more strange. Comments were made about how they flooded into a room they were leashed upon, describing them like water flowing down a stream. It was further joked by the GM, much to his immediate regret, that these cats are, in fact, some sort of slime cat hybrids, a creation of some mad wizard some time ago. They furthermore had asexual reproducing abilities, which explains how the number of cats grew so quickly in a short amount of time. It was madness. Soon, Sorrel's player was declared the Cat GM, since she pretty much co-opted control of the campaign, at least in the area of slime cats, which now, because of her actions, is a lot. But anyways, in between the cat shenanigans, we still had a bard to find. While out searching for clues about what's going on with this town, four of this party encountered a bunch of spies that, when hit by attacks, exploded. It was a trap by the bard to frame us for murder, and it worked because everyone present was arrested and taken to prison. I say everyone present, however, because two were left behind. Ninja, who was drinking everything the bar had to drown her depression, and Co, doing the aforementioned cat raid. So they got the news that their friends were arrested, and upon hearing it, Ninja didn't care, as she had pretty much given up on life by this point. But not Co. Co was a self-described amateur anarchist, and anarchy means leaving no friend behind, I guess. So after arriving in front of the prison, he hung around the front to think of a plan, since he was a mere second level arcanist at this point. It was then he noticed a legion of cats clumped just outside, making their own plans to free Sorrel, placed there by the cat GM. OG GM had totally lost control by this point. That's when he got an idea. A wonderfully awful idea. Herding a few more cats into the circle so that it could properly be described as a blob, he then used Summon Monster to summon a dog. His plan was to use the dog to spook the cats into the direction of the prison, using that as a distraction to sneak in. But then, it became clear that his plan worked 1,000 times more effectively than he could have ever hoped. For you see, there was one final feature these cats had. When threatened, the cats escape danger by rapidly reproducing, and when the danger is over, the cats spawn fused back together if possible, as they usually require more time before they're properly ready to reproduce. So, what started as a group of cats the size of a wagon tripled in number in a second as they rushed for the entrance where the guards stood, and tripled again as they completely swept the guards into their current. Within no time at all, every corner of the prison was flooded with feline fuzz. All the guards were toppled in a tidal wave of tabbies. About 4 to 5 feet of fuzzy frenzied villainy flooded every floor of the facility fast. "Help! I'm allergic!" cried one of the guards as he was quickly consumed in the kitty catastrophe. There was practically a cat ocean within that prison. Ko was only able to get past the cats because he had a flight speed. And so, with a diversion of a lifetime, Ko found his friends, freed them, and led them out of there, finally allowing them to continue their quest for the evil bard. And that is how we flooded a prison full of cats to free our friends, and how we got Kraggoden permanently associated with having an ocean's worth of cats. Lesson of the day, friends? If you ascend a joke into canon, prepare to take the consequences. Hi all, thanks for watching. This is my first attempt at making a big, cool recap D&D story video like how Dingo Duels and Z Bashu does. I don't expect this to take off, but if it does, maybe I'll make another. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, bell thing, whatever, if you wanna... Oh, that's the first thing I have to say, something like that. You got me like my heroes. Anyways, a big shout out to everyone who was in this tale. I may have drawn it and presented it and voiced it and everything, but they're the ones that made it possible, especially the aforementioned Cat GM. If you want to find me, just look up And Yet No Bananas on any site, and if I'm there, chances are I'm under that name. Thank you, bye!